My name is Macy, and I'm a 24-year-old woman. Before I dive into this story, you all should know something. I'm all about the glitz and glamour. I adore the finer things in life and have a flair for living it up. My type of lifestyle has obviously garnered a lot of attention from people, both positive and mainly negative, because people hate to see people living in luxury, especially when they look like someone like me. But hey, just because I love rocking designer outfits and sipping champagne doesn't mean I'm some shallow bimbo or gold digger. Trust me. I've got more depth than most people give me credit for, like Marilyn Monroe. Now, here's the tea. I've always dealt with judgments and assumptions about who I am based on my appearance. People see my love for luxury and think that's all there is to me. But they couldn't be more wrong. I'm smart, ambitious, and driven. I've got dreams, goals, and brains, darling. Now, this brings me to the story I'm about to share because as much as I was used to being harshly criticized, my husband and I were almost killed due to my inability to see my mother-in-law's true feelings towards me. I have to admit she did a pretty good job of hiding her real feelings from me. She made me believe that she truly loved me, but after what I've been through, I'll never make that mistake of trusting her again. Lois had this way of showing affection and making me feel like part of the family. It was like she had a soft spot for me, and I couldn't help but think it was because she saw something in me that she admired. Now, picture this. Family gatherings where I'd walk in with my bold makeup and fierce outfit, ready to make a statement. And you know how family can be, right? Especially if they're staunchly Christian like Tyler's family. They'd shoot me these judgmental looks, whispering behind my back about my excessive and trashy style. But who was there to have my back? Lois. That's who. Whenever those relatives tried to throw shade my way, Lois would swoop in like a fierce protector. She'd shut them down with her sharp tongue and witty comebacks, defending my right to express myself however I pleased. It was like she saw the beauty in my boldness and wanted to shield me from their closed-mindedness. In those moments, I couldn't help but think that Lois admired my youthful spirit and envied my confidence. She had this subtle fascination with my lifestyle, my freedom to be unapologetically me. It was almost like she lived vicariously through me, experiencing a taste of the vibrant life she might have missed out on. I'll admit that part of me enjoyed the attention. I mean, who wouldn't love having someone look up to them like that? Lois made me feel special, like I had this secret admirer within the family. I cherished our moments together, the conversations where she would share stories of her own youthful adventures and how she wished she could relive those carefree days. Because of our closeness, Lois and I had our fair share of outings together. Brunches, luncheons, picnics, and even spa dates were on the agenda. It was like she wanted to bond and create this picture-perfect mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. I was all for it. Having a mother-in-law who genuinely wanted to spend time with you was like finding a unicorn in the sea of drama. I appreciated Lois for her efforts. It's not every day you come across a mother-in-law who goes out of her way to plan these outings and genuinely enjoys your company. It felt like a blessing to have such a wholesome and healthy relationship with an in-law. I let my guard down, thinking this was just another piece of evidence that proved our bond was real. But darling, let me tell you about the day I witnessed a huge red flag that made my jaw drop and my heart skip a beat. Picture this. Lois was at my place, just casually hanging out, as we often did. I was alone in the kitchen for a moment, grabbing some food when I needed to use the restroom. As I walked towards my room, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. There she was, standing in my bedroom near my lingerie drawer. At first, I thought maybe she was just looking for something innocent, like a tissue or a notepad. But as I got closer, my eyes widened and my heart sank. I caught Lois red-handed. She was holding one of my lacy undergarments in her hands as if she was about to tuck it away somewhere. You can imagine the shock and disbelief that washed over me. My mind was racing with a million questions. Why would she do such a thing? What was her motive? I couldn't wrap my head around it. Here I was, thinking we had this beautiful bond, and now I was faced with the unsettling reality that she had invaded my privacy and was stealing my intimate belongings. Lois, what on earth are you doing with my underwear? Oh, Macy, I was just, I wanted to take a look at it. You see, my friend was planning to buy some nice underwear for her daughter-in-law, and I thought maybe I could use yours as a reference. You always have such exquisite taste. Really, Lois? That's quite an odd way to go about it. You could have simply asked me if you needed any advice or suggestions. We could have gone shopping together or looked online. But taking my underwear without permission, that's just unsettling and weird. Oh, Macy, I didn't mean to upset you. I just thought it would be easier to have something tangible to show my friend. You know how visual she is. Well, Lois, next time, just remember that communication is key. If you need help finding the right underwear, I'm more than happy to assist. But taking my personal belongings without permission is not the way to go about it. I then retrieved the underwear from Lois's shaking hands and escorted her out of the bedroom. From that moment, Lois was treating me very strangely, as if she was slightly irritated or irked with me for catching her in the act of stealing my underwear. She didn't outright say that she was upset, but as a petty and catty queen myself, I can smell shade from a mile away, and this mother-in-law was giving me all of it. She started talking about her going through my things wasn't a big deal at all, and that I was being sensitive and bratty. Lois, I can't believe you're trying to downplay this. It's not just some underwear. It's my personal belongings, and I have every right to feel uncomfortable when someone goes through my things without permission. Oh, come on, Macy. You're being overly sensitive about this. It's not a big deal. You should really grow up. Lois, it's not about being sensitive. It's about respecting boundaries and personal privacy. I thought we had a good relationship, but this behavior is making me question that. Fine. If you're going to blow this out of proportion, maybe I should just leave. I can't believe you're making such a fuss over a little misunderstanding. Before I could even stop her, she huffed and puffed her way out of my home, slamming the door behind her. Later that night, when Tyler arrived home from work, I mustered up the courage to share what happened earlier in the day. Tyler, something really strange happened today with your mom. I caught her going through my underwear drawer without permission. When I confronted her, she tried to brush it off as if it was nothing. Wait, what? That's really weird. Why would she do something like that? She said she was doing it as a favor for a friend who wanted to buy some underwear for her daughter-in-law. But it sounded like a half-baked excuse to me. It made me extremely uncomfortable. I tried to talk to her about it, but she just got defensive and left in a huff. I can't help but feel like something isn't right. I get you, babe. Maybe she's just going through some strange phase or something. Could be a sign of her growing older or becoming a bit unpredictable. I don't think so, babe. I spent a lot of time with her, and she seems fine. Well, I mean, you never know, right? Mental deterioration has to start somewhere. Maybe it started today. Regardless, it's important that we address this and set some boundaries. I don't want this to strain our relationship. God forbid it becomes a reoccurring issue, too. Absolutely, Macy. We'll talk to her about it and make it clear that invading your privacy is not acceptable. I'm sorry for my mom's weirdness. Yeah, I guess it's okay. I'm just trying to get past it and turn a blind eye. That's the spirit. You two have such a cute relationship. I would hate to see that go down the drain due to a misunderstanding. You're right. Her hostility was probably just coming from a place of embarrassment. I'll talk to her tomorrow and see how she's doing. The next day, as I was going about my daily routine, my phone buzzed, indicating an incoming call. It was Lois. I answered, and her voice sounded unusually cheerful, especially with what happened the day before. Hello, Macy. I was just thinking about you, and I thought it would be lovely to have a little tea gathering at my place, just you and me. What do you say? I was taken aback by the invitation. She acted as if the events of the day before never happened. Nevertheless, I tried to remain open-minded, thinking that maybe she wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation or simply spend some quality time together and put what happened behind her. "Oh, Lois, that sounds lovely. I'd love to join you for tea." "Great. I'd love to spend some time with you alone." I couldn't help but feel a twinge of suspicion at Lois's statement. The way she enunciated the alone part made me furrow my perfectly manicured brows, but I brushed it off. After all, we'd often spend our time alone, as she put it, just the two of us. When I shared the news with Tyler, he seemed optimistic about the tea gathering. "Oh, that's great news. See, you two are about to bounce back like normal." "I guess you're right." "What's the problem?" "Nothing, don't worry. Would you like to tag along?" I guess I don't see why not. Let's go." Later on in the day, Tyler and I arrived at Lois's home. We let ourselves in, as we often did, and immediately we were greeted by the delightful aroma of freshly brewed tea. It filled the air with a comforting warmth, inviting us further inside. My apprehension and awkwardness from the events of the day before was slowly being replaced with a mix of relaxation and excitement. I was ready to enjoy my afternoon and squash the whole issue, clearly seeing that Lois was extending an olive branch. As we entered the elegant living room, the sound of soft classical music filled the air. The table was adorned with a delicate lace tablecloth, and dainty china cups were carefully arranged, waiting to be filled with steaming tea. "Lois!" "Hello!" Lois emerged from the kitchen, a smile adorning her face. However, as her eyes fell upon Tyler standing beside me, her smile quickly faded, replaced by a hint of irritation. "Oh, Macy, I thought I made it clear that this was meant to be a one-on-one gathering." "Oh, come on, Mom. I just thought I'd join in on the fun. What, aren't you happy to see your favorite child?" Lois tried to hide her disappointment and voiced her disapproval. "Well, I had hoped for some quality time with my daughter-in-law, just the two of us. This wasn't the plan." "Relax, Mom. I won't sully the purity and wholesomeness of your mother-in-law-daughter-in-law relationship bonding time. I'll just have some tea and keep myself occupied with a book or something." Lois seemed hesitant, nervous even, but ultimately agreed to let Tyler stay. I found her resistance odd, but she decided to let it go for the time being. "All right, fine. But I have to brew another pot of tea. Wait here." While Lois made her way to the kitchen to do as he said, I noticed that there was already a freshly brewed pot that she had brought out for us when she came out to greet us. Tyler saw this too and made his way to pour himself a cup. "Please pour a cup for me too, babe." "Of course, milady." Hearing our conversation, Lois burst back into the living room, catching Tyler putting the cup to his lips as he was taking a sip. "Wait, Tyler!" Tyler guzzled everything down, and once he was done, Lois's face turned ghostly pale. "What's up, Mom? I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. I just had to have some tea. It was smelling so good when we walked in, and oh!" It was like a movie. Tyler, a 6'4" man, stumbled and faltered and then quickly dropped down, greeting the floor with a loud smack. I screamed, completely horrified at what had happened. "Oh my God! Tyler! Tyler! We have to call an ambulance now!" But just as I was about to reach for my phone, Lois halted me with an unsettling calmness in her voice. "No, Macy, there's no need for that." I turned to Lois, my eyes wide with disbelief and fear, unable to comprehend her lack of urgency. "What are you talking about? Look at Tyler! He's unconscious! We have to do something!" To my astonishment, Lois appeared strangely composed, devoid of the frantic worry that should accompany a mother witnessing her son in such a state. "Lois, how can you be so calm? This is your son we're talking about." Lois met my gaze, her expression stoic and detached, and finally the truth began to dawn on me. A mix of confusion and horror filled my voice as I confronted her. "What? What did you put in that tea, Lois?" A chilling smile played at the corners of her lips as she revealed her sinister plan. "Oh, Macy, you were never supposed to know. That tea was meant for you. I laced it with drugs." I staggered backward, unable to comprehend the enormity of what she had just confessed. "What? Why? Why would you do such a thing? What could possibly possess you to target me?" Lois's eyes gleamed with a twisted satisfaction as she revealed her dark motivations. "You see, Macy, I never saw you as anything more than a gold-digging bimbo. I believed Tyler deserved better. I wanted to protect him from your influence. This was my way of showing him that." My mind reeled, struggling to grasp the depth of her deception and malice. The woman I had believed to be my loving mother-in-law was revealing herself to be a manipulative and dangerous adversary. "Wow! So you're just like all the rest, huh? I thought you loved me." Lois's cold laughter filled the room, amplifying the gravity of the situation. "Loved you? I despised you. I always have. I just wanted to get in your good graces so that no one would suspect it was me once I offended you." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What on earth had gotten into that lady? "Tyler's right. You're going crazy. That's why you tried to steal my underwear yesterday." "Me? Crazy? Don't be ridiculous. Well, I suppose the cat's out of the bag now. I'll tell you why I was getting your underwear." Lois's true intentions behind stealing my underwear and drugging the tea unfolded with sinister clarity. She confessed that her foray into spiritualism and black magic led her to believe that harnessing elements of youth from others would grant her eternal vitality. Stealing my intimate belongings was part of a dark ritual, an attempt to tap into the essence of my youthfulness. When her initial plan failed, she resorted to luring me to her home, drugging the tea with the intention of extracting some of my youthful energy for herself. That's why she wanted me to come alone, and that's why she was irritated to see her son, because the tea he drank was intended for me. Lois's chilling confession unveiled the sinister depths of her intentions. I struggled to process the twisted motives that drove her actions and the darkness that resided within her. "You're out of your mind, Lois. You wanted to steal my youth? Perform black magic rituals? This is pure insanity." Lois, however, responded with a disturbing laughter that sent shivers down my spine. "Oh, Macy, you don't understand. I've delved into the forbidden arts of spiritualism and black magic. I desired power and eternal youth, and your constant display of youthfulness only served to torment me. It was unjust for you to flaunt what I had lost." "This is madness, Lois. You need help. Professional help. What you're saying is beyond comprehension." But Lois's laughter continued, growing more unhinged, as if she reveled in her twisted desires. "You see, Macy, the darkness has always resided within me. You were just too blind to notice, but now it's time for you to witness the true depths of my nature." A shiver ran down my spine as I watched her face contort, her features distorting into something malevolent and sinister. It was as if her true self was finally emerging beneath the facade. My heart raced as I ran outside, desperately screaming for help. I dialed 911, tears streaming down my face as I frantically explained the terrifying situation to the operator. The seconds felt like an eternity until I saw some neighbors rushing towards me, their concerned faces offering a glimmer of hope. Relief washed over me as they quickly grasped the severity of the situation after I briefly explained what was going on with my crazy mother-in-law. Lois emerged from the house, her face twisted with a mixture of anger and desperation. The neighbors formed a protective shield around me, ensuring my safety until the police arrived. I watched as they approached Lois, who had wielded a knife, and swiftly placed her under arrest. The realization that my own mother-in-law had orchestrated such a dark and dangerous plan left me trembling with fear and disbelief. In the aftermath of the chaos, Lois was admitted to a psychiatric hospital where she was evaluated due to her absurd explanations. When Tyler finally woke up in the hospital, I could see the fury and devastation in his eyes as I recounted the shocking events that had unfolded. He struggled to process the betrayal of his own mother, unsure of how to navigate the complex range of emotions he now faced. Our world had been shattered, and we were left grappling with the aftermath of Lois's unthinkable actions. Despite her deranged state of mind, Lois was deemed fit to stand trial. The justice system took its course, and she was sentenced to prison, losing everything that had once held value to her. The trust and love she had once shared with her son and me were forever shattered, leaving a void that could never be repaired. That day marked the end of our relationship and the beginning of a long and painful healing process, as we sought to rebuild our lives in the aftermath of this harrowing ordeal. Yep. So that's my story, you guys. I was the girl who almost got hexed by my deranged mother-in-law. If you ever feel like you're safe from the clutches of toxicity that seem to be an ever-present theme with mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationships, I urge you to think twice about that, because I thought everything was fine between us, until I learned that she's a psycho. I guess the sobering note in all of this is my poor husband. He's been a wreck ever since his mom went to jail, and I just don't know what to do anymore. If anyone has advice for me, please be sure to let me know in the comments. As for me, I'm more than happy that wench is in prison. Serves her right for trying to harm me. She got what she deserved, and I'm glad that she's where she belongs.